Welcome to T-Boys TV. We're back again with another Hatter Show, obviously episode 130. And in this one, the games are coming thick and fast. Obviously, big games coming up. Obviously, this is another one. Do you know what I mean? We had Liverpool at home last week. And Super Sunday, first ever time on the Super Sunday, managed to get a draw. Very unlucky not to win. And now this time we are going to Old Trafford to take on Man United. 3 o'clock kickoff. So we're usually used to these sort of times in the Championship. But yeah, we are back again. So yeah, obviously it will just be a preview, of course. And yeah, like always, I'm joined with my dad. How are we, Dad?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Hope you're well.
Yeah, I'm good. Hope everyone in the comments as well. So yeah, big up to Chris. He does put big up, lads. Hope you have a great stream. Not been greatest today mentally wise.
Yeah,
well,
keep your head up, man. It happens. It happens to the best of us. But yeah, big up, Chris. Keep your head up. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what I was going to say is, obviously, you can message me, mate. Obviously, you've got my number and everything like that. So if you do want to message me, then feel free to do that. So yeah, that is that. Big up to Jamie, who is, by the way, Dad, Sheffield United fan. Big up. He's been on a lot of the streams. He's been a subscriber for a while, but he's been in the chat flowing a lot recently. So big up to him. Unfortunately not, mate. Like I've said many a times, I'm not a season ticket holder, unfortunately. So I won't be going to this one. But yeah, there'll be content regarding it, obviously, and then there'll be a Hat Show few days after or a day after, we will see. But yeah, let's get into it. So obviously we're taking on Man United, like I said. Interesting one at Old Trafford. I did actually watch their game during the week, and defensively they were very poor. In the defence, I was very surprised with the defence they started with, if I'm being honest. It's Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans. Like when they signed Johnny Evans again, I was like, what are they doing? Like, it just doesn't really make sense. But obviously, it's a crazy game to watch if you're neutral. Obviously, Copenhagen went 2-0 up. No, sorry. Man, you go 2-0 up? Or it was vice versa, other way. And then
it went 2-0 up.
Yeah, that was it. And then Rashford got sent off, didn't he? It's one of them where it is a dangerous tackle. Maybe he's not meant to do it, but at the end of the day, it can proper damage, someone. So for me, it was a red card. And then obviously, it's then 2-2. And then United got a penalty for a similar incident that Copenhagen got one for with an arm out. And then obviously Fernandez made it 3-2. And from there on in, even with 10 men, I was thinking, United probably go on and win it now. And then they decided to sit back, which I get to a certain extent because you have 10 men. But then again, I felt if, they were still decent with 10 men and they were the better side, was when they went 3-2 up. Then they just sat back. Copenhagen scored. And then they scored a very good goal to win the game. And ironically, the guy's name who scored was Rooney. And he has been a Copenhagen favourite since he's come in because they had the derby, Copenhagen derby, not too long ago. And he scored in that game as well. So it was an absolutely crazy game to watch. But again, similar to what I was saying about Liverpool, they can be gotten at defensively. Going forward, yeah, forward line, good. But I don't think theirs is as good as Liverpool's. So I'll get that out there. But it's still decent. Rashford, who the last time we played Man United, which I'll get a bit more into later, obviously he did come on and impact the game as well as a few others in that one. But yeah, let's get into a bit of insight going into it. So this is the first league meeting between Man United and Luton since April 1992. A 1-1 draw at Kenilworth Road. and the first at Old Trafford since a 5-0 Man United win, which is not what you want to hear, in 1991. Luton are winless in 11 meetings with Man United in all competitions, drawing 2, losing 9 since the 2-1 home win in March 1987. This is their first game against them since a 3-0 home loss in the League Cup in September 2020. Since losing their first ever home league game against Luton in 1897, Manchester United have now won their last 18 against the Hatters, run stretching back to 1899. In English football history, only Everton against Fulham, 22, 1961 to 2018, and Coventry against Norwich, 19, 1937 to 1979, have had longer winning home runs against the side. So again, yeah, I really want to hear that from our side of things. Manchester United have lost 5 home games this season. Their most after 10 games in all competitions since 1930 to 31, also 5. They've never lost as many as 6 of their first 11 at home in a single season before. Manchester United have lost their last 2 home games in all competitions, going down 3-0 against Man City in the league, and then obviously a 3-0 defeat in the League Cup. They've not lost 3 in a row at Old Trafford since October 1962. So a lot of them do favour United. You know, obviously the record against us they have, you know, and certain things like, you know, never losing, you know, not losing, obviously as many as 6, you know, them sort of things. But then again, records are there to be broken. You know, in the Championship, yes, it was a different kettle of fish, but we did have a habit of breaking records. I think when we beat Norwich, that was the first time in a long time. And there was a few others, Millwall, I think, as well, and a few others like that. So they are there to be beaten. So that's that when it comes to that. Even more on it, Old Trafford is the next location in Luton Town's Premier League journey as we visit 20-time league winners Manchester United on Saturday. Rob Edwards' Hatters were minutes away from a shock victory against 6-time European champions Liverpool last weekend before settling for a point at Kenilworth Road. Erik ten Hag's Man United have stumbled after their late win at Fulham last week with defeat to Copenhagen, like I mentioned. A bit more about Man United. Ten Hag picked up the Red Devils in summer 2022 after Ralph Rangnick had left the club in 6th place and 13 points outside of the top 4 at the end of the 2021-22 season. With Ronaldo's controversial departure a few months after Ten Hag's arrival, United seem to have gradually improved under the Dutchman until this season. United currently sit in 8th place after 11 games and have lost 5 home games so far, which is the highest amount of home defeats after 10 games in all competitions since 1930 to 31. This fixture will be Erik ten Hag's 50th Premier League game in charge, while Marcus Rashford will make his 250th Premier League appearance if selected. And then obviously the first meeting, like I said, Rob Edwards going into it. The pressure is on any opposition, whenever they play us this season. But at the moment, the pressure is certainly on United. They are at home. They'll be expected to beat us, so that probably plays into our favour. Performances have been good for us. We can take a lot of confidence from last week. We want to compete with United and put in a really good performance. We're going to need to do the basics well. We'll have to defend well and run it really hard. All the stuff that we did last week, we want to attack the game in the moments when we can. We are really looking forward to it, but we want to go into the international break off of another performance, a positive performance this Saturday. The last meeting against United, which I briefly got into, obviously we're in the Championship, of course. We fell to defeat against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's United in the Carabao Cup, Kenilworth Road in September 2020. And to be fair, I remember that game quite well. Obviously, we did watch that one together, Dad. And I remember in that game, Kioso was starting, and we were a bit sceptical, only because, you know, he was one of the younger players that was playing. You know, I know it's a cup, we're going to rotate, but I remember us at the time, we thought it was a good opportunity to try and, you know, get one over United. especially being at home. Granted, there was no fans back then. Obviously, it was behind closed doors and that sort of thing. But to be fair, large parts of that game we done all right. We could have went in 0-0. George Moncur, obviously gave away a penalty annoyingly. And and then it was still tight a lot of the second half, and then they brought on, I think it was definitely Rashford. He scored. Fernandez come on, and it was a different story when they come on. But back then, it was a worse team for us. We got a much better team now. So yeah, that is that. And then team news going into it for us. Chio will be available for selection after coming off with a tight hamstring against Liverpool last weekend. Edwards has confirmed. That's very good news to hear. Jordan Clark has continued to train with the team following his inclusion in the matchday squad for the first time this season last Sunday, which we was very surprised to see him in the squad, but it's brilliant to see. And then Woodrow has picked up a calf injury, so he'll be unavailable. Obviously, he might have picked it up maybe before the Liverpool game, potentially, because he weren't even in the squad for that. And there was 2 youngsters in. So, but yeah, he's out. And then it's the ones that have been out. So obviously Potts, Anderson, Lokonga, Burt, Berry, and still Amari Bell. And then the officials for this game will be Graham Scott. 35 yellow cards have been handed out across his 7 games this season. Luton Town last had a game ran by Scott when we beat Middlesbrough in April. Obviously, the 2-1 victory, which was a massive victory in the end. And then the assistant referees, Neil Davies and Edward Smart. 4th official is Darren England. VAR is Robert Jones, and assistant VAR is Simon Long. So that's all of that when it comes to going into the game, previews, history books, and who's going to be the ref, all that sort of thing. After saying all of that, Dad, how are you feeling going into this one?
Well, again, it's a tricky one, similar to the last game, really. But we've never beaten at Old Trafford. What you talked about earlier, they weren't even called Man United; they were called something else way back
Luton Heath or something like that. Yeah.
100 years ago, whatever. But this is a different Man United team. They've still got quality players in there. So if you can lock them off, then you've got a good chance. I think probably our best chance of beating them for years. But the stats are very, very much against us. So I think I'll be happy to take a draw. We'll see. That's how I'm feeling going into it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, like you say, the stats they are in heavy favour of Man United. Obviously, I did mention that. For me, I'm seeing it. If there is a time to get a good result over United, it is now. Obviously all the problems they've got. They've had ongoing for a good few years now. We do have a habit of sacking managers as well. So if we do get a positive result, it could potentially go. You look at the games that they were saying, leading up to our game. Fulham, I thought they were quite lucky. I thought Fulham were absolutely awful on the goal. They've got to be doing better there, especially someone like Leno, who's known for shot stopping. But to be fair, the defence should have cleared it anyway. It felt like it was dodgeable, try and, get away from the ball instead of flipping defending. It was shocking. And obviously that weren't convincing. I know sometimes, it doesn't matter if it's not convincing as long as you get the win, but Man United fans and that won't be happy with that. Be happy with that. And then obviously the midweek against Copenhagen, just not good enough. Especially being 3-2 up. Yes, he had 10 men, but still, the manner they conceded them goals at the end was not good enough. So, if we do get a result, there's a good chance he could go. Big up to Kenny. Obviously, he's a Man United fan. I knew he'd be in for this one. He says, "Here we go, lads. Big up to yourself." Jamie saying, "Come on the town." So, yeah, there we go with that. But yeah, let's get into the lineup that we would go with going into this one. So obviously we will do the usual, when it comes to it. So obviously in goal, Kaminsky, of course, Premier League goalkeeper. Made some, saves he should be making against Liverpool, but then there was a few that were pretty good saves. Like I say, there's a moment when we done the reaction where he tipped it over. But yeah, so obviously Kaminsky in goal. Back three again. It's got to be what it was against Liverpool because no one's returned when it comes to defensively. So Osho on the right. That'll be his third Premier League game ever. Obviously, his second one against Liverpool, he was quality. Against Villa, he was okay, but he wasn't, as good as we know he can be. But then again, it was his first ever game, so there you go. Lockyer, and then obviously Menji against his former team. So that's going to be interesting. I've just thought of that right now. And then obviously the the defensive midfielders. Nakamba, obviously, and Barkley. Got to be Barkley again. Obviously, you gave him man of the match against Liverpool. And again, Scouser, I want to do well in this game, and his experience, you've got to go with him. Like you said the other day, his know-how as well, that sort of thing. Now, the wing backs, I'm going to go Doughty on the left, and I'm going to go Kabore on the right. Which might be a shock to some people, but to be fair, like I say, against Liverpool, he was really good. But I'm not going to get too carried away because I want to see him do be that consistent more. And I feel this is a good game for him again. He's on loan from Man City, so he'll want to show something as well, similar to Ross Barkley. Obviously everyone will, but they'll have that extra because Ross Barkley's a Scouser, obviously, and Kabore is obviously on loan from their rivals. So I'll go with Kabore on the right. And then the three up front, obviously Morris in the middle. And then I'm going to go on the right side. I'm going to go with, it's an interesting one in this one. You could go between Chong and Townsend, but I am going to go with Townsend. I'll start him again. Again, Chong could be one of them players where he could be more of an impact player. And I think with the way we play at the moment, I think, it's a bit hard for him to get in, not necessarily because of him himself. It's just the way the formation is. So I'll go Townsend again. Experience, very good against Liverpool. So yeah, former Everton player. They have a little bit of a rivalry with Man United as well. So again, want to try and get something over them. And then the left side, I am going to go with Chio, of course. Obviously, as expected, did get called up for Ireland again. So yeah, big up to him. And then, like I say, Morris up front. So that's what I'm going to go with when it comes to the lineup against Man United. Any changes you'd make, formation and players, Dad?
No, I think I'll just show mine. I think it's pretty much basically the same, to be fair. So obviously, yeah, Kaminsky, Osho, Lockyer, Menji. Osho's on that side, they're whatever. Doughty, Kabore, Barkley in the cat, and it makes sense as well. You might see Elijah start instead of Morris. For me, because potentially he's got. I don't think Maguire and that will be able to handle him. I think they'll panic. But we know Morris is strong as well. Chio is going to run and ragged. I feel. And yeah, I think that's a strong sort of midfield forward line. You've got some real quality in there if you think about it. Barkley and Nakamba, very good at Premier League level. Chio's proving that. Townsend again, experience. Morris, won the most headers in the league and things like that. And then behind it, the players have been well. And as you said, Menji will be looking to play well, certainly. And then you'll have Chong chomping at the bit to come on and do something as well as other players. Do you know what I mean? But Chong, definitely. Menji, I think, will have a good game. So, yeah, basically the same as yours, mate.
Yeah, that's it's one of them as well, you know, especially when you look at defensive injuries. It's the only one we can go with. Like I say, the only thing you can change with it is maybe the order you put them in. So you could maybe put, you know, Lockyer on the left, Menji on the right, Osho in the middle. But then again, I don't think we've ever seen Osho in the middle, if I'm correct. Maybe we have once or twice, but not often. So that is that. Big up to Stephen in the chat. He says, big up Titan. Does that in background again, cleaning. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Big up yourself for tuning in. But yeah, it is that time. I know a lot of people have got in theirs as well. So if you haven't got in yours yet already, do put in your score predictions. How are you feeling, Dad? Like you say, the records, all of that. Saturday, Old Trafford. How are you feeling?
Yeah, like I said, it's one of these where it's similar to I was feeling before the Everton game. You know, I'm not sure. I mean, we've done that. Obviously, the last performance is a plus, you know. But you've got to do that again, really. As long as we do the basics right, keep it quiet for you know, then they will start getting round, definitely. So it's an awkward one, you know. I've played Man United years, you know. But as I said before, it's probably the best time to get a result there. So I am going to predict us to get a result. You know, it has got a Luton win kind of written over it. There's been people saying and predictions, BBC Sports on Wild, Luton are going to win 7-0 prediction. I've heard Gary Neville saying Luton will score there. You know, but they'll be edged out. So I think it's going to either go 1 or 2. I think it could be potentially very similar to the Copenhagen game, but I'm not quite going to give us the win. Obviously, if it comes up, I'll be absolutely, you know, going into the international break with 4 points from Man United and Liverpool. We wouldn't have expected that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. We've never drawn against them either away, and they haven't drawn at home yet. I don't think either. But we've drawn a couple. I think we get a draw. I think they might go 2-0 up. I think we'll put it back. Similar to the Forest game.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. That'll be I'll take that. Definitely take that. You know, like I say, and like we said, you know, if our record there, I definitely would take that. As for me, my score prediction, like I say, if there's a time to beat United, it is now. You know, obviously we do have a very sticky record at Old Trafford. That is, you know, a concern. But then again, you know, we broke a lot of records. Yes, it was a different kettle of fish. It was the Championship, but records are there to be broken. Like I say, historically, especially over the years, we've sacked managers. You know, a lot of pressures on Ten Hag. So do you know what? Teams have gone there and won this season. I'm backing us to do it, mate. Call me crazy, call me whatever, mate. I'm going 1-0 Luton, a famous 1-0 away win. I'm going with it, mate. So, yeah, that's my prediction. Goal scorers, Dad?
I'm going to go Barkley and Morris.
Nice. Yeah, Barkley, that'd be sick. Obviously, anyone that scores would be sick, but due to that, you know, being a Scouser factor against Man United. As for me, who's getting our goal? I'm going to go Townsend. I'm going to go Townsend. I think it's going to be someone else who hasn't scored yet. So, yeah, I reckon it'll be him. And hopefully it is. And by the way, people, if you haven't seen, he has said that he does want to stay at Luton longer. You know, as you know, obviously, because it's only till January. So, obviously, if he does, that'd be sick. And like I said at the start, you know, when we signed him, it could be vital to us staying up. So hopefully, you know, he keeps going with these performances, and then there's no reason why I don't think we won't keep him, to be honest, especially if him being local as well. So yeah, big up to him. And yeah, hopefully he does score at some point. Big up to Jackie. She says, hi, T Daz. With all problems, I'm going 2-1. Be happy with a draw, though. So she's also gone with a win for Luton. Fair enough. Yeah, I'll take the draw, definitely. Like I say, with our record at Old Trafford, you know, over the years, you know, when we have played them, obviously, it's been a long time ago, like we said. But yeah, I would definitely take it. And No, they still do have good players. So we can't, heavily underestimate them at all. I just feel it's a good time to play 'em with all the drama going on. Like I say, we do have a habit of sacking managers. Chris has gone 3-1 Luton, right?
Wow.
This one is interesting. He says, no, I'm not messing around here. Luton can get something. Only threat is Hoyland. That's it. The rest are Leopards, throw manager and previous under bus.
Yeah, that is a point that I'd like to pick up because I have seen it before, and I've seen it I've seen it at Man United a few times. I've seen it at Chelsea a few times. When players don't want the manager there, they will deliberately put in, to get relegated. They're doing all right, they're not doing terrible. Obviously, from Man United standards, the fans are thinking that, but they're like whatever 6th, 8th, whatever. They're a few points off of Europe, yeah. But they don't like him. They do tend to do that. They put in subpar performances because it's just not there. And some of them think, nah, like Harry Maguire was meant to be leaving the club. Do you know what I mean? Whatever. Like, you don't know what's going on in the background. Certain players are definitely underperforming. And so it is possible, definitely. I've said it, but I just know records are there to be broken, but normally, it's like that. But we'll see.
Yeah, no, I hear that. And yeah, I'll see what he says about Hoyland because I don't think he has many goals, but at the same time, he has created a lot of chances. I think I saw a stat earlier, like
Don't think he's
big chances created already.
Scored in the Premier League.
No. I think the stat I saw was like 6 big chances created, but no goals. But like they're big chances, so we know he can create them. He did score 2 the other day, I believe. Yeah, they were, only tap-ins, but still, he was, in the right place at the right time. So we've got to be wary of that. Especially if goals we can concede defensively. It hasn't really happened recently, but it has happened, over the course of the season a few times. Brad, obviously, excuse me, is a Manchester United fan. He says 3-1 to United, a game they'd really like to win. They really need to win, sorry.
They do need to win it.
I'd like a peaceful couple of weeks for once. Yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, it is, and I'd understand it. If I was a United fan, obviously looking at it, it's a game. I wouldn't, and I'm not saying it because I'm a Luton fan. I wouldn't underestimate Luton. Definitely not. But at the same time, I probably would look at it as one to win. Yeah, especially being at Old Trafford. But I think if they do win, the way I see the game going, right, I can either see it being a 1-0 to either team or a 1-1 draw. But obviously, I've gone with the 1-0 to Luton. Like I say, I said Liverpool will be tougher than Man United, and obviously that was before the games. And obviously we've got a draw in that, so confident we can get some sort of result. Which is mad to say. You probably wouldn't have said this at the start of the season. Let's be honest. And I think at the start of the season, I actually put United to finish second, so I definitely wouldn't have said that most likely. Big up to Jamie. He's saying 2-1 to Luton. That would be sick. Again, another 2-1. Obviously, he's a Sheffield United fan, so I don't know if he would like it specifically because of the relegation battle, but big up yourself, mate. And that would be absolute scenes, mate. 88th minute winner. Jeez. I mean, it'd be like Nottingham Forest all over again, really. But this time it'd be for 3 points, essentially. So, yeah, Kenny reckons it's going to be as stinkiest 0-0 of all time. I mean, I'll take that, mate. I'll take a draw, to be honest. Yeah, you've got to. Right, let's be honest. Like we say, with the Old Trafford record, come on, man. It is still very. It's not as tough as, no disrespect, I don't think it's as tough as like Anfield or the Etihad, but it's still tough. So can't underestimate him at all. They wasn't great the other night against Copenhagen, says Jackie. No, not at all. Like I said, I watched the game and I don't know what it is. Like every time I put on a football game recently, since the Monday night game, they've been absolute goals galore. The only one that I've watched that hasn't been was the West Ham one. So obviously I watched Tottenham Chelsea 4-1. That was crazy, and the amount of disallowed goals in the first half was crazy. Then I obviously watched this game. Didn't watch any games on Tuesday. Then I watched Liverpool. That was obviously a crazy game, 3-2. mental. And then obviously the West Ham ones, the only one that ain't really had goals. So it's been a bit mad. But yeah, no, there wasn't at all. Like, I don't really understand why they. I said it earlier. Why they sat back, after going 3-2 up. Yes, I know they were in the lead. They're 10 men, but I don't feel that was the way, especially with how the Copenhagen fans are. The way they were on it. I just didn't really think they should have done that, to be honest. But here we go. Who am I to comment on that? But yeah, that is that. That is the match preview done for Manchester United away. Obviously, we'll do a reaction probably maybe on Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. Any one of them 2 days. And then obviously we will get into, well, no, we won't get into a game later on in the week because I forgot it's international break, isn't it? Annoyingly. It's a bit annoying now because England have already qualified. So
yeah, but the thing is, this is what I like about, and I know we had it in the Championship as well, but with the injuries we've got, it gives them extra time to recover and things like that. It is a little bit of an advantage, you're in League One.
League, and players like Clark as well, it gives him more of a chance to come back. Like, obviously, he's come back, but maybe ready.
Players that are here still be trained. The players that are away, doing bits for their country, playing against, world-class sort of players or whatever. Some of them. So it's, it's still all good. It's all good.
Yeah, no, it's true. And obviously, big up to all of them that have. From the top of my head, obviously, Kaminsky for Belgium, Lockyer for Wales, and Chio for... and then obviously, Kabul in that as well.
I think...
obviously, Johnson as well, but we already shouted him out.
I think Joe Taylor's been called up for Wales as well.
Oh, really?
Well, he's a Premier League player. Yeah, he's playing in League Two. He's top scorer or second top scorer. He'll be on the bench. Yeah. But I think he is. I'm sure he's actually been called up.
Yeah. 8 hours ago on the Colchester thing, it says Goodman and Taylor called up for internationals. So, yeah, he has been called up. So, shout out to him. Like you say, he is a Premier League player. I know he's playing League Two, but technically, it's like Kabore. Technically, he's a Man City player. So, yeah, no, shout out to him. I didn't know that till just now. And he probably deserves it. I don't think he'll start, but hopefully he comes on at some point. That'll be sick. And yeah, I think this is John, as in Uncle John, Dad.
Big up on John.
Yeah, big up. He's gone with a 1-1. Yeah, I'd be very happy with that. Like I keep saying, with our record at Old Trafford, you have to take that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the game goes. As long as the performance is there, that's all we care about. And then, to be fair, obviously, without getting into it too much, I think we got a good game to maybe pick up 3 points, or at least a point after the international break. Obviously, we've got Crystal Palace at home, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But Dad, any final things you'd like to say about anything?
Yeah, just keep it, like I said before, keep saying it, just keep enjoying it. We're doing all right, we're fighting. And, it's Ten Hag's 50th game in charge, could be his last. Let's put it on him. So, just enjoy it. That's it. Even if we don't win this game, we're still in with a chance of staying up. Obviously, there's loads of games left, but we're still in that touching distance. We're not the whipping boys, and let's just enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. Going on that thing as well. Goal difference. It's not bad. The amount of previews I went on the Liverpool channel the other week, and they were saying, essentially what you're saying there, but not the whipping boys like a lot of people maybe thought going into it. So there is that to look at. And then when it comes to December, which is coming up very shortly, we've got some massive games at home, to try and show what we're all about really in that sort of sense. Especially back to back, we've got Arsenal and Man City. Can't remember the order. Might be the order I just said, but we have got them back to back at home. So let's see. Like I said, we can give anyone a game at Kenilworth Road. So let's see, man. Let's see what happens. But yeah, let's focus on Man United first tomorrow and see how that one goes. But yeah, big up to everyone that tuned in. We are currently on 12 likes. So big up to yourselves. I know a lot of people watch this back on playback as well. So obviously do smash a like there. And then obviously do subscribe to the channel. The last couple of days we keep gaining new subscribers and I haven't really uploaded a lot, so do appreciate that. I think it might be from obviously the person who puts out all the celebrations and goal reactions to the Liverpool, well, to the Luton Liverpool game. Obviously, I was the only Luton content creator on that. Going absolutely mental. Looking back, it is a shame you couldn't actually see me when we scored. But yeah, no, it's one of them. But yeah, big up for that. And then obviously, yeah, subscribe to the extra channel if you haven't already. Obviously, link to that is in the description. Obviously, we are only 4 away from 100 subscribers on that, so that would be pretty sick if we can get there. And then if you want to follow me across any of my socials, obviously link to them are all in the description. I'm hoping to do something regarding the game tomorrow. Not a watch along, but I'm hoping to do something regarding it, whether it's a reaction or sort of like what me and you did, Dad, when we played Forest. I'm hoping to do something like that regarding the game, and I'm hopefully going to try and get Man United fan on that I've known for a long time. So that'd be pretty sick if we can do that. We've already planned before about him coming on the channel at some point, so hopefully it will be tomorrow. But either way, I'll probably do something myself. If not, but yeah, big up to Hanno as well. He's gone with a 1-1. Yeah, like I say, mate, we'll take that. We'll take that all day, every day. But yeah, like I say, subscribe, follow all the socials, do subscribe to the other channel, notification bell on, and we will be back in a couple of days for another Hat Show. Till then, take care and peace. Up the tongue. Cheer, motherfucker.